Good morning, kids. My name's Stuart K. Riley, and this is YouTube Poop News. Today on this show, we're going to have a little bit of a history lesson for you kids. A lot of people may not know this, but much of YouTube Poop is actually divided into little separate divisions, almost like majorities and minorities in the real world. I mean, think about it. You got the sentence mixers, the ear ape guys, the general poopers, the I'm a person style poopers, spadinner fags, flash poopers, Windows Movie Maker guys. Oh, and the poop tennis fags, but nobody watches tennis rounds anymore, do they, children? But the bad thing is, what I just named was the obvious ones. There's hundreds of them. And not only that, there's subdivisions inside the divisions. And the ones I'm going to name off today and tell most of the complete history of are just ones that I know. There's many, many more of these divisions and subdivisions of YouTube poopers and poops. It would actually be damn near impossible to name them all and find them all. But it's because of these divisions and subdivisions that many people sub to you. Like you see these YouTube poopers that all of a sudden get 200 subscribers in like 2 days. That's because one group of poopers found him, showed him to their friends, and their friends showed it to their groups, blah, 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 and then boom, guy's got 200 more subs. Now, I'm not saying I'm about to tell you kids how you can gain subscribers in 5 seconds. Bullshit. If you think that's what this video is about, then you might as well click off now because the next 13 minutes and 30 seconds are going to disappoint you. Now then, let's get after it. Now, as we already know, it already started with a bunch of shitty videos on Cheesy Art. It just started as somewhat of an inside joke with a couple of people who were on Cheesy Art and other places. Those people including, but not limited to, Super Yoshi and Yamino Malix. Soon after, people like Duke of Fortune Man, Retro Jape, and Tetsuo were all making their poops, and so beget the first era of YouTube poop. The very first in a line of people that would spark a revolution. And how do you fuck up a good revolution? Let the Sonic fags get a hold of it. Which in this case, it actually made the franchise a little better. People like Steg, Blah, Boogity Boo, and even guys like Waldfield and May AIDS sooner or later found themselves being called Robotnik poopers, whether or not they were or not. And that name is kind of stuck for people who have pooped Adventures of Sonic a whole bunch in their poop career. Now, what about Mr. Simon? Where does he fit into all this?
I don't.
Yes, you do. You were all hokey shit over Cult Tunes way back in the day. You saw Hot on Our Tail, then you made Super Mario Bros. Super Show all caps. At the time, his poops were considered superior work, but when he came out with the very first YTPMV, known as Stay Here While I Bash Koopa Football Players, that's when YouTube poop's popularity just went kaspoom! A lot of the early poop veterans actually call him the very first overrated YouTube pooper because he just went upwards in thousands of subs in a little bit of time. This idea of using YouTube poop as a musical tool inspired many people like Igualaman, which is Mama Luigi backwards, Nut Hacker, the Flash Maker, and McMangos to make their own videos like this, and thus started the YTPMV YouTube poop music video movement. Now, the first version of YouTube poop music videos that ever came out was making a backing track or using an existing backing track like a piece of video game music or something and syncing the lyrics, which is still a very popular and well-loved version of YTPMVs. Hell, even I pop them out sometimes.
Flip up the sight, pull back the bolt, flip up the sight, pull back the bolt, pull the trigger.
So now you had your YouTube poops, and then you had your YTPMVs and your Robotnik poops. And all was quiet on the poop front until...
It wasn't quiet on the poop front! All of a sudden there was ear rape!
Ow! Shit! Ow! Where did my mic go? Yeah. Fuck! Ah, there it is. Yes, sir. After a while, a couple of Movie Maker kids figured out that it was possible to raise the volume in Windows Movie Maker to obnoxiously loud levels. Now, for who invented ear rape, the jury's still out on that. Some people say it was Mr. Simon, while other people say it was Jazz Dance for Children. And some people say it was Mr. Tinnick, and Squirrelus, and Radoc, even though he's a 2009 pooper. So who made ear rape is about as easy a question as who started the name YouTube Poop. It's one of those questions that don't have a real answer. But one thing's sure about ear rape and the rapists who use it. Either you fucking love it or you fucking hate it. There's no in between. And some YouTube poopers and poop fans really love it to the point to where it's their favorite technique. And these people are known as rape poopers because of 75% of their poop being rape. Big love-hate relationship there, but it always is when rape is involved. Isn't that right, children? Well, we've talked about the old stuff, we've talked about Robotnik, we've talked about YTPMVs and rape. It's time to get to the other stuff. You know what it is, children. Sometime during early 2008, Conrad Slater invented YouTube Poop, which is the YCP website. And at some point or another, Conrad just got tired of seeing every YouTube poop in the world being CDI and the same old spaghetti dinner, my boy 9000 shoop de whoop, toast what the fuck boom. Because at this point, it seemed like everybody was just copying everybody else. Nobody was coming up with original stuff. I mean, Mr. Simon and all the old veterans were the big names back then, and there was hardly any new original stuff coming out of the woodwork. Everybody was just opening up Movie Maker and just making this random chopped up mess. Now that would be fine. Now that's normally fine and good, but there's only so much of that you can take to where it's just, ugh. You know how you think you can eat Hot Pockets the rest of your life, but after like the third month of eating the same damn Hot Pocket over and over, it gets to where, oh no. Well, that's how a lot of poopers and poop watchers started seeing these videos that people were making. And Conrad had just had enough of it and started the war on AIDS. Instead of blaming the poopers, which he did a little bit, he blamed the sources. He would shun anybody who made a CDI poop or an Adventures Sonic poop or a Mama Luigi poop, would call it AIDS, whether the poop was good or not. And that thoroughly pissed off the fanboys of said videos, and thus the divide between general poopers and spadinner fags began. But luckily for the spadinner fags, there were 3 new poopers on the scene just looking up and waving their little hands at these little spadinner guys. Walrus Guy, Deeper Cut, Crobo Productions. And the fans and fanboys of such videos would begin to make these very mediocre Windows Movie Maker MS Paint abominations, leaving the actually good, funny, and half-decent YouTube poops made with AIDS sources lost in the cracks, leaving us nothing but, I hope lots of spaghetti needs instructions on how to fuck a dick. But then again, a few of the bad ones are pretty funny. Oh my god, seriously. So it's not all bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's funny bad. And now the next form of YouTube poop is actually a form that people consider to not be a YouTube poop, but many people still seem to like it. Yes, I'm talking about flash poops. Now, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for putting flash poop here, and I feel kind of dirty for doing it myself. There's a lot of people in the world that don't think flash poop is an actual form of poop, and for good reason. A lot of people believe that flash poop, with that, you are creating new content instead of using the existing. So whether that qualifies as YouTube poop or not, the jury's still out on that. A lot of people just call them Adobe Flash animations featuring CDI characters because that's really all they are, in most cases. Some of them have Arlie Ermy.
And the way I see it, you owe me for what? Slimy little communist shit twinkle toad unorganized grabastic fucking walrus fucking piece of shit!
That one was by I Am the Gang, one of the first guys to do it along with Link12345 He was one of the few people in the Flash Poop community who didn't want his videos being called YouTube Poops because he didn't like the name and he didn't like them being called the same thing as the glitched up, chopped up videos. And most of his work was with MS Paint anyway, and it is with a lot of Flash Poopers, but people still call them Flash Poopers because they have a similar style. Later on, this style would end up being utilized by such poopers as Crazy Cat 13, famous for his Dinner Blaster video, and of course, Walrus Guy, the person who made it completely and totally hip and cool to do it in the first place. And then later on, people like SG Honk and MeStar Studios, who added 3D modeling to the mix for some reason. Now, as you could have guessed, these videos are actually really popular. Not only with YouTube poop fans, but the internet in general. Because long story short, Flash poops are just more, I don't know, internet-y than YouTube poops. And YouTube poop is very anti-internet. So that's why you see Flash poopers with more subscribers and more views than, say, a normal YouTube poop. Because the same guy who likes Metal Gear Awesome may also like Hotel Mario missing cutscenes. I swear there are like 5 Flash poops called that. Well, we're running out of time, kids, but I'll go ahead and wrap it up. We're almost done here. Since we just got done talking about Flash poops, let's go ahead and talk about a poop style that's very much related to Flash poops in some way. In fact, a lot of Flash poops have this in them. We're talking about plot poops. Yes, those videos that are chopped together to tell a brand new story, mostly about the characters fucking each other. But yes, another popular technique that's taking the internet by storm is sentence mixing and plot poops. This is a style that's been done by darn near every pooper that at least knows how to do it. Sentence mixing definitely isn't the hardest thing in the world to do when it comes to poop. This is a style that's been popularized by people such as Waldfield, Walrus Guy, of course, Quibby Jibby Swish Films, Crobo. I think Crobo was one of the first. You know, even though Waldfield is sex jokes up the yazoo, I gotta give him credit for doing all that with Movie Maker. That's some pretty seamless stuff. Now, as for plot poops, a lot of people that popularized that were, again, Walrus Guy. Well, he really started that, didn't he? And then you've got every freaking CDI pooper under the sun after that. And then you got Tornus7 or Tornus YTP, every one you want to call him, who made it fun to use I am mean with these plot poops. And then you got the 3 guys that made the excellent Gaston collab years ago. Oh, Billy Morshoe, Dual Screen 77, and Jake Steel 0121. Those guys gave Weeaboo something else to fap to besides porn. Yeah, just like every pooping style, pooping technique, there's good ones and there's bad ones in the sentence mixer crowd. Right now, I think the best sentence mixer that's around right now is Dinner Warrior. Even though he's got a fuck ton of subscribers and a humongous fan base right now, I really think he deserves it. I think he's doing really well for himself. I know the name Dinner Warrior, it's awful, but his poops are good. Just watch the stuff. I think if he branched out and did other techniques, he would be twice as good. Next on the chopping block, you've got a little bit more of a modern day YTPMV. We're going back to the YTPMVs again. This is the pitch shift kind. This is normally followed with Cam Whore, Mega Man music, Mexican Sunflower fanboys, and what have you. And that basically explains the whole thing. And then you've got the poopers who dare to not have a style, the alternative poopers. I've made a whole new show about them, so you should already know a bunch about them already. They all have their own styles, and they're proud of it. Then you've got the tennis fags, the guys who love to play them some YouTube poop tennis. Back and forth, pooping each other's videos back and forth. More rape, more colors, more effects. And you've got Conrad Slater and Miscellaneous 10 to thank for that. If it wasn't for poop tennis, you wouldn't be welcome. Then we would all be lost. For a lot of people like Microprocessor, the Chutley, and many others, that's the only kind of poops they actually do. They're not much to watch, but I have to reward them for finding a way to make poop into a game. And then next you've got the guys who do that by themselves. YCP calls them mind rapers, but some people call them erosion poopers. All I know is if you want to see a shitload of effects in one video, you need to see these guys. And last but certainly not least, why would I leave these out? The fast-paced visual hulky shit poops. What the fans seem to call I'm a person poops. Videos with hardly any unedited source material, and if it was unedited, there was a perfectly good reason. Visual stuff all over the place, effects every second, or sentence mixing or rape. Always something that catches your attention until the end of the video. You know, my kind of bullshit. If it weren't for guys like Squirreless, Mayades, Squish Guards, and of course I'm a person, Comgo, and myself, you probably wouldn't be able to see the amazing modern day idea of what a general YouTube poop is right now. Well, that right there is some of the main, best-known categories and divisions of YouTube poop right now. Stay tuned, kiddos. When we come back, I'll be talking about the subdivisions within the divisions, and we'll see how divided those divisions are. We'll be right back.